Here is the news in special English. I'm Steve Ember in Washington. The Israeli Security Cabinet has approved an expanded ground offensive against Hezbollah guerrillas in Lebanon. Cabinet members agreed to send troops as far as 30 kilometers north of the Israeli border with Lebanon. Israel's Industry and Trade Minister says the military operation could last 30 days. During the cabinet meeting, Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert spoke by telephone with American Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. In another development, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said the Israeli offensive has not affected his group's ability to fire rockets at Israel. Hezbollah fired a number of rockets Wednesday. Also, Israeli forces attacked areas just south of Beirut, the Bekaa Valley, and a camp for Palestinian refugees. The attacks killed 7 people. Human Rights Watch says the United Nations should investigate civilian deaths in Lebanon and northern Israel. The group said UN officials should immediately send experts to the area to study the effect of the conflict on civilians. On Tuesday, UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan called for a complete investigation into the Israeli attack last month on the Lebanese village of Kana. Human Rights Watch said Mr. Annan was right to call for the investigation. France and the United States are changing their proposal for ending the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Diplomats say the changes are likely to delay a vote by the United Nations Security Council. Differences between the two countries appeared Tuesday after their representatives met with Arab League officials. The Arab League wants the Security Council to call for both an immediate ceasefire and the withdrawal of Israeli troops from Lebanon. On Wednesday, French President Jacques Chirac said the United States is resisting some Arab proposals. He also said that giving up on a ceasefire resolution would be wrong. Palestinian officials say an Israeli air raid in the Gaza Strip killed 3 people Wednesday. Officials say the airstrike hit a training camp for Palestinian militants. Hours earlier, security officials said an Israeli helicopter strike killed 2 members of the group Islamic Jihad. In Nepal, the government and rebels have agreed on restrictions on fighters and weapons. The agreement came during a meeting in Nepal between Prime Minister Girija Prasad Koirala and rebel leader Prachanda. The government had wanted the rebels to disarm before elections next year. Under the agreement, Mr. Koirala agreed to restrict troops to military housing before and during the elections. The rebels also agreed to control their fighters and weapons during this period. The two sides also agreed to place their fighters under United Nations supervision. In Tajikistan, Islamic leader Syed Abdullah Nouri has died of cancer. Mr. Nouri was 59 years old. His Islamic Revival Party is the only officially recognized Islamic political organization in the country. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. Norwegian government officials say kidnappers have seized 4 people from a Norwegian supply ship near the coast of Nigeria. The officials identified the 4 as crew members of the ship. They said 2 of those kidnapped are Norwegian. The 2 others are said to be Ukrainian. The United States military says American Marines have arrested 4 Iraqi men suspected in the kidnapping of news reporter Jill Carroll. Major General William Caldwell says the men were arrested in Anbar province west of Baghdad. He also said that United States and Iraqi officials are discussing ways to try the men. Also Wednesday, the United States military said it is searching for 2 crew members of an Army helicopter that crashed west of Baghdad. The military also said that 3 American soldiers died from enemy action in Anbar province Wednesday. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization says one of its soldiers has been killed in an accident in southern Afghanistan. NATO said the soldier was taking part in a normal military operation at the time of the accident Wednesday. It said enemy action was not involved. Canadian defense officials say the soldier was from Canada. Also Wednesday, a bomb explosion in another area of southern Afghanistan killed a woman and wounded 2 other people. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation says it is giving $500 million to the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. The aid group said the Switzerland-based program will receive the money during a period of 5 years. The Gates Foundation gave $100 million to the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria 5 years ago. 3 years later, the group gave the program another $50 million. A published report says the oil company BP was told 2 years ago about problems that caused a major oil pipeline in Alaska to close for repairs. The Financial Times newspaper reported that a representative for BP's workers wrote about employee concerns in a letter to the chairman of BP's Environment Committee. The report said the letter expresses concerns about damage inside the oil pipeline. Members of the United States Congress have called for meetings to investigate the company's operations at Alaska's Prudhoe Bay oil field. And American physicist and space scientist James Van Allen has died. The University of Iowa announced his death Wednesday. He was 91 years old. James Van Allen designed instruments that were placed on America's first satellite, Explorer 1. They discovered circles of radiation surrounding the Earth, which were later named after Van Allen. Briefly, here again is the major news of the hour. Israel's Security Cabinet has approved an expanded ground offensive against Hezbollah guerrillas in Lebanon. Human Rights Watch says the United Nations should investigate civilian deaths in Lebanon and northern Israel. And in Nepal, the government and rebels have agreed on restrictions on fighters and weapons. That's the news in special English. Steve Ember reporting.